a French ambassador, who was asked to leave the Niger Republic 48 hours after that order was given by the military ruler of the Niger Republic almost a week ago, have refused still to leave Niger Republic. Welcome to Elect TV, and this is Jay on Matter Rising. So now, the Niger junta has already ordered the police to arrest the envoy to Niger Republic as we speak now. You know, the report has it that Niger military ruler have ordered police to expel French ambassador, a move that makes a further deterrent in relation, and one that French authorities says the army officer who seized power sometime last month had no authority to make such. The coup leader are following the strategy of military government in neighboring Mali and Burkina Faso in distancing themselves from the region former colonial power and a wave of anti-French sentiment. This is the situation of things going on in Niger as of today. Now, one of the things that keep on, the question that keep on pondering on the heart of many is that what is going on in Niger right now? Is it by force for the French government to remain in Niger? You know, like I said always, the African countries cannot take their troops to any European nations of the world, you know, with their arms. But we have it here in Africa because they are the colonial master. Now, the people are saying that you have to leave their country. The United States, the German, the other embassies, you know, nations of the world have evacuated their embassies. But then, when you come to that of France, they don't want to leave Niger at all. They want to remain in Niger. And the tactics they're trying to use, like the French president Emmanuel Macron once said the other time when the ambassador refused to leave after the ultimatum was given to him a week ago, he was praising him that he is brave and he's doing the right thing because they don't recognize the military junta. Now, this military action took place sometime in July. August has passed. We are now in September. That is over 1 month. They have formed a successful government. They are now they are a sovereign nation that have their own, you know, government in place already. So what is this? French are not ready to move out of Niger. Remember that they have been putting pressure on ECOWAS and mounting pressure on the ECOWAS president to intervene militarily in Niger. But unfortunately, we saw that the president of Nigeria, who happens to be the chairman of ECOWAS, you know, has given the Nigerians military to, you know, state a transition committee or whatsoever within the next 9 months, you know, to return back to democracy. Remember that the chairman wants, or the ECOWAS wants, over them, you know, to return to democracy or hand over power within 3 days. And it went to, you know, trying to invade the Republic of Niger. From there, we're now having 9 months given to them. These things, you know, for if this military intervention was for the people of Niger, then it is worthy of note that they really need time, you know, to transit power to democracy. And to do that, they want to distance themselves from any form of the French, you know, any relationship to do with the French. So doing that, they need a lot of time. They need, you know, so many processes that would come to play before they will be able to achieve all this. And I believe these are the reasons why, you know, somebody might have spoken to the chairman of ECOWAS that, you know, invading Niger will be invading your own country because you have a porous border with Niger Republic, and this war will not just happen in Niger, it will happen right in your own territory. I believe that is the reason why he is now changing, and I believe that within the coming days there will be a level of compromise in order for them to come maybe to 1 year or 18 months, because the Nigerians military said they need 3 years, to set up the transition. But asking them to do it in 9 months, I believe, is one step, to get to the bottom of this whole drama. Why is the French government not wanting to leave Niger? That was a question I asked earlier. But if we were to look into that critically, you will understand that within the last 3 years, the Francophone countries have been having a lot of military intervention. And military intervention always come when you have a lot of issues bordering on corruption, nepotism, mismanagement of public funds, and all manner of things. No development. Imagine Niger having a lot of mineral resources, but one of the poorest country in West Africa, and in the world. And you cannot see that, and then you expect the military, with all the money that they have seen. Imagine the money that was recovered from the military, the aid of the son to the president in Gabon. Look at the money that was recovered from the son. So when you look at those money, okay, look at the money that was recovered from the Senate, the Senate president who was trying to escape in Gabon. Look at the money that was, all this money, they keep laundering this money to European nations, developing European countries, and making Africans poorer, making African poor, making Africans suffer. So this is, if any genuine military officer sees all of this, they will have no other option but to intervene. Now, if you look at this scenario, some people have it that in Nigeria, within the last over 60 years of independence in Nigeria, the military was the one that builds the refineries, the 3 refineries in Nigeria. But with the coming back into democracy, 23 years of democracy, our refineries are no longer working. What happened to the refineries that the military built? What have the democracy actually built in Nigeria? Suggesting a lot of, asking a lot of questions as to the democratic regime. People are now asking questions that those who are in power are filled with corruption, and they are pushing so hard, pushing the people to the wall and making them to demand for military intervention, of which is not a prayer for any reasonable thinking Nigerian. But when you see situations like this, they begin to do comparison as to what happened within the last 23 years and what happened within the last 40 years under military rule in Nigeria. Then you will begin to see some of the development that happened then. What are we seeing now? We can't even maintain them, not to even talk of doing new ones, you see. So these are the issues. But in as much as the democratic practices in Nigeria and other African countries are filled with a lot of corruption and a lot of mismanagement, going military is not the way at all. So back to the Niger issue, it is better for the French government to move out of Niger, and this is where the AU need to come into place in order to speak to the French to move their troops and leave Niger for good, because the military and the military base of Niger of France in Niger threatening to bomb Niger if the Nigerians military ruler invade their embassy or try to arrest their ambassador, trying to protect her citizens. This is a country you have been declared persona non grata. You need to leave. It is well known under the international laws and all of that. It no longer needs you. You leave. So why holding on to to the country by force? Anyway, this is what happened and what is going on in Niger. And the ambassador has just 24 more hours to leave, or he will be fetched out of Niger. Thanks for watching.